All right, boys and girls, I appreciate those of you that took your hats and hoods off because we don't wear our hats and hoods in here. I also want you to repeat the rules of the computer lab for me. Sit on my bottom.
Sit on my bottom.
Hands in my lap.
Hands in my lap.
No talking.
No talking.
Is that your bottom, sir? Thank you. Okay, we're going to go over a couple of keys that some of you know how to do and some of you don't, so that when you're logging into Fast Forward, you can use these keys in case you have a mistake or you make a boo-boo. So, this is our keyboard, and the first key that I'm going to show you is the delete key. Starts with a D, delete. Can you point to that key? And what I'm going to do is enlarge it, and it looks a little closer here. Can you see the D?
Yes.
I'll make it a little bigger. Whoa, can you see the D there?
Yes.
Here, trace it in the air with me. Down, around. And what does this D stand for, boys and girls?
Delete.
Delete, because we are going to delete some letters in a minute. And we find that key right here under this arrow. This is an eject button, which will eject certain things that you don't need right now. So, if you happen to be logging into Fast Forward and you happen to make a bunch of boo-boos, you know, or maybe you're typing your name and you forget a letter, or you type too many of the same letters, or you put a space, or you do something else, like these little weird things that pop up. You're like, oh no, what do I do? And sometimes, you know, you start over again. You just red dot or curly Q out. Now you just go to delete right here, the delete button. But the trick to this is sometimes you're not on the browser, which is your internet access. Sometimes you're on the desktop. See this purple? If I click on the purple, look what happened. The red, the yellow, and the green, they disappeared, didn't they? But if I click up here at the top, you know how I can drag it around by clicking on the top up here? Look what happens. So you can click on the top or anywhere on the page, and that'll bring this back up. Now look what happens when I click on the desktop, on the background. Did they go away? That means you're not on the internet page. But if you click on the page of your game, look, it comes back. Now we can click here on the space where we were typing. See how that's flashing? Look, every time I click, you see that cursor or that line. See how it's flashing?
Yeah.
So if I click here, now I can use my delete button. Now I can. So I'm going to press on my remember that? My delete button. And look, I can get rid of stuff like that. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. What if your mistake is in the middle of your name? You can either delete the whole thing, or you could just go where the mistake is and take out those extra letters that don't belong there. Now that's a little tricky, and I don't recommend it unless you're pretty good using the click and cursor. Now, same thing with your password. Maybe you do too many. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. Oops, I did too many 5s. So what you do is, the cursor's blinking, so that means it's ready to delete. If it's not blinking, see how it's not there and it's not flashing back and forth? You just click right where you need to delete, go to your delete button, and click in the proper password. See that? Yay, there you are. Now we are on our Fast Forward game, and I'm going to show you one more important key, the volume keys. Now I'm going to go back to the keyboard.
I already know those keys.
I'm so glad you know those keys. Can you let me teach the rest of the kids? Thank you. Now look up here, and you're going to see these little speakers. Right here and right here. I'm going to enlarge those too. And that has an F12 and an F11. Can you say that? F12, F11. Now notice that F12 has a bunch of these lines, kind of semicircles, and this one only has one line. So what do you think this speaker means?
Turn up louder.
Turn it louder, because it's got more loud sounds, more lines. Can you say lines?
Lines.
Loud. Say lots of lines.
Lots of lines.
Loud.
Loud.
Okay, this one only has one line, so that one is softer. So, here we go, back to our game. And we are going to start it, and I'm going to show you how that works. Now, I can barely hear that, so which one should I press? The F12. Now, watch what happens. See how it shows the lines? Now, I can get too loud. That's too loud, way too loud. So now I go back to the F11. And do you see how that's kind of right in the middle? Where it's like half black and half white? Do you see that?
Yes.
That's about where you should have it. Right there. Or a little less. See, now let's count. We can take it all the way down and we're going to count the squares and you can count with me. 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Now does anyone know what half of 16 is?
13.
No. Go ahead and guess. You with the hand up. Yes, sir. What do you think half of 16 is?
17.
No, that's one bigger. Yes?
8.
8. Come here, give me a knuckles. Oh, man. Girl, you are ready for second grade. No, you're ready for third grade. So what I'm going to do, boys and girls, is I'm going to put the volume at exactly half. And how many is half?
8.
Okay, so count again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now that's the perfect volume. No, don't go past 8. 8 is the perfect volume because it's halfway. It's not too loud. Let's listen to it now.
1.
See how it's not too loud? And it's not too soft. I can hear that, and I have hearing problems. So, boys and girls, what I need you to do today is to remember, and oh, there's one other one, but we won't go. I was going to say there's the escape button. We'll do that one another time. But what I need you to remember is the curly Q instead of the red dot. Curly and Q, remember that will get you out. I need you to remember delete, and you need to remember these volume buttons. So right now, I'm going to do the curly. I'm going to hold the curly down with one finger, and I'm going to tap what letter? The Q. Now watch what happens. Boom. Much faster than stop red dot, which you guys learned in previous times in the computer lab. Now, boys and girls, I appreciate those of you that did not interrupt me with talking, and you sat quietly through the whole lesson. So I'm going to ask you that you're going to go to your computers without talking or running. And when it's time to go, you're going to put up your headphones and push in your chairs and stand in front of your chair, right? And if you're quiet enough, you just might get some free time at the end of the class. So let's walk slowly and quietly to our computers.